What people do not see behind a yacht design?
Yacht design is a lot about balance. When we design a yacht, it is a balance between my vision and, of course, the vision of the owner. Innovation was already in the DNA of the studio, so I'm continuing a very innovative path.
Where do the biggest mistakes in yacht design happen?
First of all, I think the biggest mistake is to design only following the trends. So when you follow completely the trends, you make a mistake because you're already designing in the past.
The Greek yachting market, is it lucrative for making business or not?
Greeks, first of all, they have a big passion for sea and for yachts, and this is fundamental. With this big passion, we are already one step ahead.
What excites you most about the future of Studio Vafiadis? And of course, what's the vision for the future?
So,
without further ado, I'm Thanas Kontogiorgos.
And I am Evangelos Angelatos, and this is The Mooring Line, a podcast focused on the world of yachting and the people shaping it.
If you haven't already, subscribe or follow. It supports the show and allows us to keep delivering high-quality conversations from the world of yachting.
Stay on board. Welcome to The Mooring Line. Today we are thrilled to have with us Stefano Vafiadis, one of the leading voices in the modern super yacht design.
Stefano has designed and overseen projects for Balletto, Golden Yachts, and many more. So Stefano, thank you very much for joining us.
Kalispera, Christo.
So let's begin with the first question, and this is that you were born in Rome with strong Greek roots and raised around boating and design. Was your design destiny for you, or did you ever imagine a different path?
I think so, yeah. Definitely it was destiny, because I was born in a family with a great passion for yacht design. My father is a famous yacht designer, one of the first in the world. So I was raised as a yacht designer because my father brought me to the best shipyards in Italy, around the world, in the 90s when I was a kid. So a great era. And I stepped inside these shipyards as a kid, and they looked like playgrounds to me. So there was also this toy game feeling that was very nice. Also the yachting industry at that time, it was very nice. So I remember really there were beautiful people, and to me it's like a dream today. And then I started my own career. I graduated in architecture in Rome. And then after 1 year in London, I came back to Rome and I started working into the yachting firm Studio Vafiadis, which is our office, my studio. Mm-hmm. And now I am the creative director of the firm.
Amazing journey.
Amazing. Is a rare and successful father and son story, which is, it's incredible. And I would like to ask you, how do you balance continuing your father's legacy with bringing your own vision into the Studio Vafiadis?
Well, it was very interesting because innovation was already in the DNA of the studio. So I'm continuing a very innovative path. But of course, the challenges today are even greater than the challenges of our predecessors.
Indeed.
So we have now great challenges that we have to face. And at the beginning, I had my own team made by several people. And I ran this team, and we created this creative team, think tank. And so we started designing new concepts, creating new lines, creating a new style for the studio that was a step forward than the one before. Not because the one before was not all right or it was old. As I said, innovation was already there. But because with the excitement of my youthness, I was 28, 29 at that time, It's like the first album of the rock stars. It was full of creativity, great communication. I wanted to communicate a lot with these designs. So we created
I think
this new...
it's a great age. When you are 28, 29, you are in a great age to start fresh, something new, or joining into something already successful as your father's studio.
Exactly. So we started designing new concepts, and then slowly, with time, we started collaborating with very important shipyards like Golden Yachts and then Yacht, and we made successful designs. And from this concept, these ideas, this new, fresh style, we created very successful yachts.
You mentioned design, and you have already said in the past that you design the dreams of a single person. So the question would be, how do you translate an owner's personality into a yacht without losing your own yacht designer identity? And also, what people do not see behind a yacht design? That's something very interesting for us.
Well, yacht design is a lot about balance. So balance is one of the main themes. When we design a yacht, when I design a yacht, it is a balance between my vision and, of course, also more important, the vision of the owner, because it's his boat or her boat, it's her vision, his dream or her dream. So it is fundamental to respect and listen very carefully the owner and his requirements, his habits, his dreams, his taste, the materials he wants for the interior, for example, is fundamental. So my style has to be so flexible and so tangible that has to empower what the owner wants. So it doesn't have to be a conflict, but they have to go on the same path and to create something that reflects the personality of the owner, but of course has also a style.
Was there a case in the past where you had some personal limits that you were not happy to change and an owner that wouldn't be happy with what you think?
No, usually I always collaborate with owners and it's always a beautiful journey together. So I've never faced any problem, issue with their own vision. I completely respect their own vision. And when I have visionary owners, to me, it is even better. I like owners that call me maybe many times during the day. I had this idea, or can you sketch this or that? To me, it's like a fuel for my creativity, it's a booster. And I like also owners that they want to create a statement, they want to win awards. I like owners with a great passion. Yeah. To me, is fundamental.
So no big drama during the whole...
No, never big drama, never big drama. Yeah.
If you compare an architect that designs luxury villas on land, how can you compare an architect that designs the villas on land with a yacht designer that designs yachts on the water? Do you find any differences, or what do you think if you compare these two?
Well, today's yachts are like floating villas in some way. For example, the Baietto Dome line, dome is a domus. Domus, it is the Latin word to say house.
Yes, I had to read Latin, you know,
yeah,
for the law school.
So they go parallel, but there are many differences between a home and a yacht. First of all, a yacht is something in motion, and a house is not in motion. So on a yacht, you have to predict the motion of waves, And sometimes waves are also hard. So we never imagine that we're gonna face big waves. But in the reality, yacht sometimes, hopefully very rarely, they face rough sea. So everything has to be seakeeping on board. For example, just to say something, everything has to be bolted. All the cabinets, they have to adopt seakeeping things.
Yeah.
And for this reason, you have to predict this motion. Then also a yacht has all the crew quarters. That's also important. So there is a big percentage of the volume of the yacht, like 20, 30, 40% of the internal area, that needs to be crew quarters. And they have to be as more invisible as possible, because usually clients, owners, they don't want to see the crew operations. They want that the crew operations are completely silent and stealth.
What would you say would be the difference if you were to design the exact same yacht for either commercial or private use? What would be the key components? I think you mentioned one.
Yeah, well, it's a big difference. Because a private yacht is a yacht that reflects completely the taste of the owner, and begins with the taste of the owner and ends with the taste of the owner. While a charter yacht has to meet also the expectations of the market, which is also very important. Nowadays, most of the yachts are charter, rarely are only for, but there are some cases where the owner, of course, it's his own right to say, I don't want to charter. So usually on a charter yacht, the layout has to be very easy, very understandable. So straight corridors, cabins one after the other. That's one of the main points, the accessibility, let's say. Because a guest from day one has to understand the flow, the path, the places on board. So we cannot make a complicated layout in this case. Then second, also, very important is a matter of style. The style of a charter yacht has to be balanced. As I said before, it's very important to balance yachts. Because, of course, it has to meet the owner taste and has to reflect the owner personality. It cannot be a blank sheet or cannot be anonymous. A yacht always has to have a personality. That's fundamental. So after that, you have to make something with a personality, but also that meets the market taste. So it has to be personal, but also universal at the same time. And this requires experience, creativity, talent. Of course, it's not easy.
On that point, if you do a refit, do you think that you change the personality of a yacht, of a boat? And how do you compare the refits with a new build?
Well, the new build, you have endless possibilities when you start. Usually when we start designing a new yacht, we start from like this, a white paper, different size, A4, A3.
I can say that you sketch this in like 5 seconds, something like that.
Yeah.
We need to show that in the video.
Indeed, we can show it. So we start from this, and with the new build you have endless possibilities, like this. When you make a refit, you don't have endless possibilities.
We will sell it later.
You have... For you, it's for free. So when you make a refit, you don't have endless possibilities. but you have few possibilities, few choices, and you have to choose the right choice.
As you said, you have to keep it in the lines to be like in the same personality and character of the yacht. So you can play around, but not too much. Is that correct?
Exactly. If the owner wants, you have to respect the tradition and the story of the vessel. Or in some other cases, the owner came to us and say, completely change the interiors. We want to create a strong contrast from what there was before, and also maybe the exterior of the yacht. If it is very classical, it can be funny to have super modern interiors. So at the end, in my opinion, there is the same amount of creativity from a new build into a refit. But the creativity is conveyed in two completely different paths, because on new builds, endless possibilities. And in the refit, the creativity has to be conveyed to create with the things you have, with the story you have, with the materials you have, or slightly changing them into the end result you want to achieve.
Let me get into the thinking process that you follow. So Daybreak, one of your projects, started from designing a side table rather than, let's say, a big space like a saloon. So what does this say about your attention to detail and your creative process? And I would like to add a question. Where do the biggest mistakes in your design happen?
Good question. Both two good questions. Well, designing a yacht is like making an opera or a musical composition. So there are many notes, many different instruments. For example, I don't know, railings, mast, superstructure, hull. They're all parts of the ensemble, of the totality, and they have to communicate and to live each other in harmony. So it has to be an harmonious composition. In that case, in Daybreak, I had this vision of this side table that gave also an identity. I had some inputs from the owner, then I translated them into the final style of the interiors. So it doesn't matter where you start. The importance is the overall final definition of the yacht, the final result that makes it harmonious or not.
How knowledgeable are the owners? So when they come to you...
Sorry, I forgot to the biggest mistakes. That's a nice question. Well, first of all, I think the biggest mistake is to design only following the trends. So when you follow completely the trends, you make a mistake because you're already designing in the past. Because today's trends are not necessarily 3 or 4 years ahead the trends. Because we have to consider that yachts that are launched today, they were designed 3 or 4 years ago, or even more, 5 years. Sometimes the design process is very long in time. So it's a big mistake to just follow the trends. I mean, you can follow 1, 2, 3 trends, but you cannot make a whole design without inspiration.
Do you think that following the trends will alternate your designing personality?
Not necessarily, but I think also you have to say something. You cannot be so passive, following just... you have to create also a path, a story, a journey. Yachting is a lot about journey.
How knowledgeable are the owners? I imagine someone who is in the yachting business and they do charters, they know what they want. But someone who is a yachtsman and likes yachts, how knowledgeable are about a new build? So probably he has to listen to your own advices and guidance, right?
Well, usually owners are quite knowledgeable because when they come to us, they already have had several yachts, maybe smaller, and usually so they know what they're talking about, they know the requirements, they know what they want. And I have to confess that I learn a lot from owners and clients because they're very successful people, very straightforward people, very practical. So they had been in the past and they continue to be also in the future an amazing school to me. And I learn every day.
That's so true.
So, yeah.
That's so true. I guess it's a huge learning curve at school, having the opportunity to discuss with these people and learn through that process.
Okay, talking about past and future, I want to talk about present. And I want to ask a question that also talks to myself. We see more designers, more investors, entrepreneurs entering the yachting industry from outside sectors. Is yachting, you think, still an attractive and accessible industry for newcomers? What's your opinion?
I think we are very lucky working in the yachting industry because yachting industry at the moment is one of the most fertile, creative fields around, more than others. I think our advantages working in the yachting industry is that, first of all, it's not a mass market. So it's a market just for few people, a few thousand people in the world. And this makes a big difference because we are not pushed by too much by the laws of mass market. So we can create every time a different and interesting product, also for a single person in many cases. Because in our case, and also in other case, we do bespoke design. Then the amount of creativity in the yachting industry, I think, is unparalleled in other industries. The freedom that we have from these mass market laws that I was referring to is incredible. And it's a big luckiness to us, I think, because we can express ourselves. We're not obliged by anyone.
Business-wise, what do you think? The Greek yachting market, is it lucrative for making business or not?
I think the Greek yachting market it can be lucrative if you're good, if you're wise, especially. Is a very good market, in my opinion. Greece is one of the capital of yachting, and it is always a statement because Greeks, first of all, they have a big passion for sea and for yachts, and this is fundamental. With this big passion, we are already one step ahead. Then also, Greece has many advantages. It's a very big spot for yachts, for yacht owners. Most of them, they come to Greece during the summer, in the beautiful islands or in the coastlines, and not only. So that's a second advantage. Then we have a natural advantage, the most beautiful sea in the world, a good weather. So there are many things that influence in a positive way Greece. Yeah. But it's not just natural or nature or beauty of the land. It's also the beauty of people, the passion that I was referring to,
the Greek
the heritage, the Greek hospitality, the philosophy. There are many things that influence positively the Greek market, in my opinion. Also, last but not least, the craftsmanship. In Greece, we have a wonderful craftsmanship. So that's also very important.
The best seafarers in the world.
Yeah, exactly. So,
perfect. Let's jump from Greece to Greek shipyards. So we have projects like the 95-meter Opari that have drawn global attention. how competitive do you believe that all the Greek shipyards are, and what do you think are their advantages, and what are the weak spots of the Greek shipyards?
Well, the Greek shipyards, they're very competitive with the other shipyards, in my opinion, because I think the flexibility, the genius of Greek people, also the hard-working ethos of Greek people is unparalleled in the world. Also with Golden Yachts, we created stunning boats that not everywhere they can be created. I think they are really unique. Also in the carpentry, in the shapes, they have very advanced shapes. For example, the masts of all the Golden Yachts are always very sculptural. And in many other places of the world, I know by experience, would be impossible to build this mast, this complex shape. We need the ability of Greek people. That's the first requirement. Then it's a pleasure to build a yacht in Greece, because it's a beautiful journey with beautiful people. In my opinion, it's also this one is an advantage. So I would say craftsmanship, knowledge, then landmark, background, cultural background, natural background. These are all big advantages. And then also the passion, as I said, because Greek people are big workers, hard workers with lots of passion. You can see also in the final product this passion translated into shapes and into also quality. So my opinion is convenient.
How do you see the market evolution, specifically the yacht owners compared to 10, 15 years ago? So how can you see the younger generation influencing the yacht designs?
Well, the younger generations are fundamental in yacht design and creating new designs. We have to believe in younger generations, to empower also the younger generations. I see the average age of owners is becoming low and low. And also the average age of designers is becoming low and low. It's a market that in general is becoming younger and younger. So these young designers, I'm also a judge in the Young Designer of the Year competition. And it is one of the biggest honors that I had in my career. So I saw now in December many new, fresh young talents. And it's amazing, really, also to me, that I am a young designer, but not so young, because I'm 38.
And very talented. So average, the age of of your clients, you can say that it's like 40s or?
Yeah, it's between 40, 45, 50. Yeah, that spot nowadays.
It's quite young.
And used to be a little bit higher when I stepped in 15 years ago.
Mm. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. I think that's a smooth transition towards social media. Let's come to that. Today, I think owners focus more on silence, comfort, rather than speed. So how do you think have the social media shaped the yacht design and also the onboard experience?
Social media changed completely the idea of luxury, somehow. Because before, it was, oh, look what I have. This was the exclamation. Now, luxury is look what I can do with what I have. Mm-hmm. So, luxury items are no more just assets there that you stare, you look, you admire, but they are static. They are dynamic, in movement. So, luxury items, not just yachts, but also other things, they became tools to empower your lifestyle. And lifestyle and experience are the new words important for the luxury world.
Despite cutting-edge technology, you often say wood is your favorite material. How does the traditional craftsmanship still matter so much?
Wood is one of the basic materials in yacht design and yacht construction, because yachts, they used to be built in wood, like classic lake boats, classic yachts. Nowadays, no more, but mostly the interiors in many classifications, they are made in wood, so fundamental material. Something incredible, in my opinion, about wood is that it can be modeled or it can be framed how you want, because nowadays with CNC machines and other advanced technological machines, you can model and sculpt the wood however you want. Then is a natural material, a natural resource, and plus is also recyclable. So many woods today, they're made from old wood, from recycled wood, which it makes even more appealing, in my opinion, because you know that at the end of his life, it can be recycled, can become another yacht, maybe.
Yeah, and I think that's how the world now functions. We think about all these factors and we care about the environment, we care about alternative energy resources, we care about energy efficiency. So the question is, how does energy efficiency and alternative resources, energy resources, affect your design?
So when you design a yacht that has alternative resources in his mind, you have to start from day one designing the yacht with these alternative resources. Because usually alternative resources are less efficient than today's resources like diesel or petrol. So you have to predict more tank, for example. So you will lose some space on board. Or, for example, if you put solar panels, you have to predict the right size and the right space to adopt these solar panels.
That's true. And we also, because we sell the silent yachts here in Greece, we also have seen that it changes, for example, the hull of the yacht, because you need more isolation. If you have more isolation, then you can be more energy efficient. But you need to start from scratch.
From day one, yeah. The first sketch, this sketch, has already to incorporate the alternative fueling or alternative energies concept, let's say.
Are you positive towards hybrid, for example, systems or electric systems or hydrogen systems? What's your opinion?
No, absolutely, yes, completely positive. That's the future, and we have to continue in that path, in that direction. Of course, because this will change also the layout and the shape of yachts in the future. And I think it's a great opportunity to design a new kind of yachts. First, because we cannot design always the same thing, repeating, copy and paste. I don't know, but it's not in my soul, it's not in my ethics. We have to change for the better, for the progress. And so we have to start designing new yachts adopting these alternative energies and then completely open. Of course, it is very important to underline that they have to be without any compromise, because yachting is pleasure. We are not commercial ships or technical ships or military. Yachting is pleasure. And the impact of yachting in the overall pollution of the world is not so big that we need to lose or to compromise fun. But of course, we have to keep in mind sustainability because it's fundamental, and we have to go towards that direction.
Great answer. Drinks on me today.
Okay.
Greece is one of the top cruising destinations, but still underperforms as a yacht building and refit hub due to bureaucracy. Do you agree? And what uncomfortable truths does Greece need to confront to unlock its fully yachting potential?
Well, Greece is a great yacht spot, a yacht building spot, and I think that Greece is not second with the creativity or yachting industry to any other country. There is the potential to make the best yachts, of course. We already make with Golden Yachts, other shipyards, fantastic products. So we don't have to be pessimistic and think that we are second to others, because I think Greece is one of the capitals of yachting. It will become even more, in my opinion, powerful and known for yachts and products. We have so many examples of beautiful realities emerging and also confirming, so much more than emerging just right now. So we have to continue working to always be better in marketing. Marketing is very important. Then we have to create a system, a vision of Greek Hellenic yachting industry to collaborate, as many other countries do, together to create a real industry, to create a real group of important realities.
Perfect. And with all those said, let's dive into my favorite closing question. And this would be, you often say that our best yacht is our next yacht. So what excites you most about the future of Studio Vafiadis? And of course, what's the vision for the future?
There are many great challenges in the yachting industry today. As you said, the energetic transition, the world that is changing, younger owners. There are so many challenges that have to be taken, and I think we will end up with better yachts than when we started. So the chase of the perfect yacht is my fuel. I have this perfect yacht in my mind. I dream it every night, and I will chase it all of my life. And every yacht will be closer to this perfect one.
Aristoteles, just to know, used to say that the perfect thing is the thing in which you can't put anything and you can't take anything away from it. Oh, yeah. So better keep in mind.
Exactly, exactly. Sometimes it's different to put or to take out a painting from a house or from a yacht. And that's the perfect example.
Stefano, thank you so much for sharing your insights, both around the art design and the exciting developments around Greece.
Thank you.
So it's been a real pleasure having you on the mooring line, and see you all in the next one.
My big pleasure. All the best. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe or follow.
It's a small way to support the show and help us keep the mooring line moving forward within the yachting industry. Thanks for listening.